You know, you probably have all these firewalls installed, complex passwords, the whole nine yards, right? You likely think hackers only invade by, I don't know, breaking down your digital doors from halfway across the world. But what if the most dangerous entry point isn't your Wi-Fi at all? What if it's actually that little rectangular port sitting right on the side of your machine? Yeah, you might literally be plugging the hackers in yourself.
Welcome to This Explainer. Today we're diving into some fascinating source material that completely shatters this common false sense of security we all kind of share. I mean, we rely on USBs every single day, right? We pass them around without a second thought. But as we unmask the USB threat, you're going to see exactly why this tiny, innocent-looking piece of plastic is essentially a Trojan horse just waiting in your pocket.
So let's jump straight into Section 1, the plug-and-play trap. You see, tech engineers created plug-and-play for convenience, obviously, but that convenience comes at a massive cost. Your operating system actually acts exactly like a blind, absolutely trusting bouncer at an exclusive nightclub. When you insert a USB, it doesn't do a background check. No, it simply asks, "Hey, who are you?" and then automatically accepts whatever identity the USB claims to have. Crazy, right?
Okay, let's really dive into this. Because your computer implicitly trusts the device, the USB becomes a total master of disguise. You think you're just plugging in a standard storage drive for, say, your PDFs, but internally, that little device can totally spoof its identity. It can literally tell your computer, "Oh, hey, I'm a smartphone," or "I'm a keyboard," completely bypassing all your anticipated file scanning defenses. It's basically invisible identity theft happening right there on your motherboard.
Moving on to Section 2, Master of Disguise, 5 Deadly Attacks.
Let's look at how this threat actually escalates. We start with number 1, malware and ransomware, basically your traditional trap. Then things escalate into unstoppable hardware manipulations. We've got the HID keyboard attack acting as a phantom typist, bad USB serving as a deep firmware infection, and network card spoofing stepping in as an invisible middleman. And finally, we step straight into psychological warfare with social engineering bait.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the sheer speed and stealth of the HID, or Human Interface Device, attack. It's just staggering. The USB actually contains a hidden microchip designed to spoof a keyboard. Within 0.05 seconds of being plugged in, it automatically opens a hidden terminal. And by 0.10 seconds, it's already injecting malicious commands like some kind of phantom typist, moving at superhuman speeds. Literally 0 clicks required. But, you know, of all the sophisticated technical attacks we just covered, the absolute most devastating one requires zero high-tech wizardry. None. It relies entirely on the biggest security loophole on the planet, which is our own human curiosity. Hackers will take a standard USB drive, load it up with a backdoor, and simply slap a really compelling physical sticker on it. Think something juicy like 2024 company layoff list or executive salary data. Then they literally just drop it in the company parking lot or maybe a nearby coffee shop. It is precision psychological manipulation. Somebody finds it, looks at that label, and their overwhelming curiosity just completely overrides every single piece of corporate cybersecurity training they've ever had. They plug it in just to take a quick peek, and boom, the hacker's inside the network. It's that easy.
Let's compare these threats side by side to get the full picture here. Down on the lower end of the danger spectrum, though let's be real, still incredibly risky, is your standard malware USB. Your antivirus might actually catch it, and it usually needs you to actively double-click a file. But then, look at the bad USB firmware attack. The malicious code isn't just sitting in a folder, it's burned directly into the physical memory block of the drive's controller chip. Your antivirus can't see it, and formatting the drive completely does absolutely nothing. We give that 5 skulls for its invisible, unclearable nature. Yet juxtapose that highly technical threat with the bait attack right at the bottom. No technical rating can even capture it because it completely bypasses the machine and hacks the human. It has the absolute highest success rate of any method we've talked about.
Which brings us to Section 3, the climax, the Stuxnet catastrophe.
At this point, you might be thinking, okay, sure, this is bad for my personal laptop, but surely highly secured government-level facilities have defenses against this, right? Well, if you think they're immune, consider the absolute worst-case scenario. And this brilliantly illustrates the point. The infamous Stuxnet attack on an Iranian nuclear facility. This facility was entirely air-gapped, literally the ultimate digital fortress, cut off from the internet. Yet the attackers didn't need the internet at all. Unwitting employees or contractors used regular old USB drives to jump that impossible air gap, completely breaching the world's most secure isolation to physically destroy nuclear centrifuges. Just let that sink in for a second.
Let's move to and see how this builds, because whether it's your personal laptop or a literal nuclear facility, this catastrophic breach happens in what experts call the fatal 5 seconds. Second 1, the user plugs in the unknown USB. Second 2, the operating system just automatically trusted. Second 3, the USB activates its clever disguise. Second 4, millisecond automated execution kicks in, and by second 5, the invisible invasion is complete. A backdoor is fully established and data theft begins. It is terrifyingly efficient.
All right, let's shift gears to Section 4, Building Your Defenses.
Okay, I know that was super intense. But take a breath, we aren't completely helpless here. Defending against this whole shebang requires a solid mix of physical and digital tools. On the physical hardware side, we have the USB data blocker. Think of it like a physical gatekeeper. It physically severs the data transmission lines and only leaves the power lines intact, giving you a perfectly safe charge at public ports. On the digital isolation side, if you absolutely must open a file from an unknown USB, using a secure sandbox or virtual machine basically traps any potential virus in a digital cage, ensuring it never ever touches your main operating system.
So the crucial point is that software and hardware blockers can really only take us so far. True immunity actually comes from a core personal policy of zero trust. You have to actively train yourself to view an unknown flash drive not as a helpful little storage device, but as a loaded digital weapon. Seriously, if you find a USB in a parking lot, you don't plug it in to be a good Samaritan and find the owner, you throw it directly into the trash. Zero trust means exactly that. Absolutely zero trust.
Think about it. We spend billions of dollars globally on advanced network security, sophisticated encryption algorithms, and these massive cloud firewalls. But at the end of the day, as we've seen throughout this explainer, a single moment of simple human curiosity can dismantle all of that in just 5 seconds. The strongest firewall isn't your expensive antivirus software. It's not your fancy hardware data blocker. It's you. So the next time you find a stray USB drive sitting on a desk or someone hands you a flashy promotional drive at a networking event, I want you to remember what you learned here today. What will you do? Will you be the ultimate firewall, or will you be the one to physically plug the hacker in? Stay secure, stay vigilant, and thank you so much for joining me on this explainer.